Dead or alive, this juvenile brown snake wouldn't stand a chance against all these bull ants. When bull ants attack, let's have a look. Soon they will begin to swarm, and the remnants of this little brown snake, it'll become roast dinner for these guys. Soon the word will get out and they'll be everywhere. News is spreading. They're starting to mass. Everyone wants a bite of the fresh snake that just got ran over on a dirt road that I was walking along. So I picked it up with a stick and thought, yeah, why not take a video? So let's see what happens. They're into it. And because the skin is broken, I'm assuming they're well aware there's a feed for them. And I threw it right near the nest opening in the hope that they'd all come pouring out. Not quite as many as I expected, because there are a lot walking around the area, and I thought news might have got out by now, but I'm willing to bet within 10 minutes it'll be covered in ants. And they're bull ants, and geez, better they'd bite the snake than me. And we know it was a juvenile brown snake because it was brown on the top with a black head, which I'm told by all the other campers in the area, that's a brown snake. And I'm not really into killing animals, but I guess it wouldn't have worried me if I'd seen it on the dirt road. I would have just walked around it. But had it been a lot bigger, I would have gone, oh boy. And if I was smart, I would have just turned around and walked the other way. But for what it's worth, it's no longer with us, so it might as well feed the ants, who at this point of time are still spreading the news. Dinner has arrived. Uber Eats for ants. Snake pizza from Domino's, whatever you want to call it. Mixed snake from Macca's. Kentucky fried snake, not quite. But I think we get the idea. As I said, I would have thought they would all be running by now. I've actually did this a couple of weeks ago, and the swarm was just the area was covered in a black mass within 2 minutes. So these guys are either well fed or possibly not as interested, but it's got to be considered protein, substance for the rest of the ant nest. But maybe they're just assessing it. But having said that, they are over it and getting into it. But the last batch I did this for, the bull ants were twice as big, which might have meant they were more aggressive. I'm not quite sure. Okay, I'm going to just turn it over a little and see if that gets things going. Maybe they'll think it's alive. Now there's a bit of action. Just the way it goes in the Australian bush. A snake dies and the ants eat it. Simple as that. If it wasn't the ants, possibly a magpie or some other bird, even a kingfisher, a kookaburra, would consider it a good meal. They don't just eat fish. Kookaburras will eat anything. Frogs, juvenile snakes, lizards, you name it. So yeah, I guess the mass is getting a bit darker. Perhaps you can hear the cockatoo in the background, screeching away. It always makes me think when I hear the cockatoo screeching what it must have been like when the dinosaurs were around and mammoth flying reptiles screeching like that in the air. Would have been a lot scarier than a load of bull ants. But look, I think they're really into it now. Go back a bit. As we can see, there's a lot of activity. Hopefully none of it running up my leg while I'm standing here filming this. Nothing worse than a bull ant bite. I had a big bull ant in the van the other week and I pulled everything out because I had visions of it biting me in the wrong spot at midnight. So yeah, and I got it. I slept better that night in the knowledge I had too. So these guys look pretty pleased about the whole thing. As I said, home delivery, snake, mixed snake, boaty McBoaty, whatever you want to call it. They're probably looking for weak spots in the skin to start feeding on. And there will be some because it was just run over. It was still soft when I found it on the side of the road 5 minutes after a car passed me. So it's probably only been dead for half an hour, which means still full of fluids and all the stuff that ants probably like. Yeah, I guess compared to 5 minutes ago, there's a lot more activity. They're right all over it. Probably hoping for the best spot to sink their fangs into. Pretty handy. There's the nest right there. 2 steps from your door and you've got a massive meal. Imagine if you were a person and a meal that big landed in your front yard. I don't know what kind of meal it would be, but I guess it'd be pretty handy. Probably freak you out if you're a vegetarian to have a massive amount of protein, meat-based protein land on your front door. But for anyone else, they'd probably go, wow, look at that. 1 month worth of meat. Cut it up, smoke it, put it in the freezer. And yeah, we'll have barbecue every Sunday. As I said, I thought word might get out a little bit more. I was expecting all these other ones to swarm it, but they haven't really. But I guess it's fair to say when bull ants attack, it would hurt.